A very good morning to all of you. My name is Divya and my today topic is Radon-Nikodym theorem. Here is the statement of Radon-Nikodym theorem is let X, beta and U be a sigma finite metric space and let V be a measure defined on beta absolutely continuous with respect to U, then there is a non-negative measurable function f such that for each set E in beta, we have VE is equals to integration f du over the set E. And the one more thing we have to prove that is the function f is unique in the sense that if g is any measurable function with the same property, that is VE is equals to integration f du over the set E, that f is equals to g almost everywhere with respect to measure u. Firstly, we have to prove the first part, then we prove the uniqueness. Firstly, suppose that u is finite as u is signed measure, then v minus alpha u is a signed measure for each rational alpha. Now we are decomposing x and we are taking the Hahn decomposition, but we are taking v minus alpha u is a signed measure. So let an and bn be a Hahn decomposition for the signed measure v minus alpha u and take a naught is equals to x and b naught is equals to empty set phi. Now we are applying the Hahn-Banach decomposition definition, that is b beta complement is equals to a beta and x is equals to a beta union b beta. Therefore b alpha minus b beta is equals to b alpha intersection a beta. Thus v minus alpha u into b alpha b beta, this is a measurable subset having the measure less than 0 because b alpha is negative and b alpha minus b beta is the subset of b alpha, and b alpha minus b beta is equals to b alpha intersection b beta complement, which is equals to b alpha intersection b beta, which is contained in a beta. As a beta is a positive set, therefore the measurable subset have the measure greater than 0. Therefore v minus beta u b alpha minus b beta is greater than 0. Thus we have v b alpha minus b beta is greater than equals to beta u b alpha minus b beta. This implies v is equal v of b alpha minus b beta is less than equals to alpha u b alpha minus b beta. This implies beta u b alpha minus b beta is less than equals to v b alpha minus b beta is less than equals to alpha u b alpha minus b beta. Thus, if beta is greater than alpha, this implies u into b alpha minus b beta is equals to 0. Therefore, there is a measurable function f such that for each rational alpha, we have f greater than equals to alpha almost everywhere on a alpha, and f is less than equals to alpha almost everywhere on b beta. We are having b alpha minus b beta is less than equals to 0 from a, and b alpha minus b beta is greater than equals to 0 from b. So we have taken f is greater than equals to alpha on a alpha and f is less than equals to alpha on b beta. Then let E be an arbitrary set in beta. Then from this set E we are making two sets. ek and E infinity. Ek is equals to E intersection bk plus 1 by n minus bk by n, and E infinity is equals to E minus union bk by n. Then E is equals to E infinity union of Ek, which is the countable union, and E is the union of the two disjoint sets. When we take the measure V of E is equals to V infinity plus summation k is from 0 to infinity V of Ek, and Ek is equals to intersection E intersection bk plus 1 by n minus bk by n, which is equals to E intersection bk plus 1 by n intersection bk by n का complement, which is also equals to E intersection of bk plus 1 by n intersection ak by n. So ek is contained in, या फिर ek is a subset of bk plus 1 by may n intersection ak by n. Now from the existence of f, one side we are taking f is greater than equals to alpha and other side is less than equals to alpha. So we can say that k by n is less than equals to f and k plus 1 by n is greater than equals to f on ek. Now integrating with respect to u over ek, we get u k ek by n is less than equals to integration f du over ek, which is less than equals to k plus 1 by n u ek. Take a star. Since by the definition integration of f du is equals to v ek, so we get k by n u ek is less than equals to v ek, and which is less than equals to k plus 1 by n u ek. To prove the next part, we take one part v ek is less than equals to k plus 1 by n u ek, and the second part is k by n u ek is less than equals to v ek. Now subtracting 1 by n u ek in the first part on both sides, we get v ek minus 1 by n u ek is less than equals to k plus 1 by n u ek minus 1 by n u ek, which is equals to k by n u ek, and by the star this is less than equals to integration f du over ek. Similar calculation we do for the another part. So when we combine both the equations, we get this last equation v of ek minus 1 by n u of ek is less than equals to integration of f du over ek, which is less than equals to v ek plus 1 by n u ek. This calculation is for the set ek. Now we talk about the set E infinity. On E infinity, we have f is equals to infinity almost everywhere. So we are taking two cases. U of infinity is greater than 0 and u of E infinity is equals to 0. If u of E infinity is greater than 0, because u is a signed measure, so it is assumed plus infinity or minus infinity, so we must have v of E infinity is equals to infinity. Since v minus alpha u of E infinity is positive for each alpha, if u of E infinity is equals to 0, we have v of E infinity is equals to 0, because v is absolutely continuous with respect to u. In either the cases, we can write v E infinity is equals to integration f du over the E infinity. Adding this equality and the previous inequalities, that is this, we have ve minus 1 by n u of e is less than equals to integration f du over e infinity is less than equals to v of e plus 1 by n u of e. Since measure of u is finite and n is arbitrary, means tends to infinity, then from this inequality, finite over infinity is equals to 0. From this we get v of e is less than equals to integration f du over e infinity is less than equals to v of e. So we get v of e is equals to integration f du over e. Thus the theorem is proved for the finite u. To show that the theorem is true for the sigma finite measure u, we decompose X into countable union of Xi's finite measure. Then applying the same argument as above for each Xi, we get the required function. To show the second part, that is uniqueness of f, let g be any measurable function. Then we have to show that f is equals to g almost everywhere. And we know very well, when we prove that f is equals to g almost everywhere, then we take the set of all those points where the f is not equals to g and we show that measure of that set is 0, then we can say that f is equals to g almost everywhere. Then let g be any measurable function satisfying v of e is equals to integration g du over the set E. For each n belongs to natural number, we are taking two sets an and bn. An is equals to x belongs to capital X such that f of x minus g of x is greater than equals to 1 by n, and bn is equals to x belongs to capital X, that is set such that g of x minus f of x is greater than equals to 1 by n. Since f of x minus g of x is greater than equals to 1 by n for all x belongs to an, integrating with respect to u, then integration of f minus g du over the set an is greater than equals to 1 by n u of an. By the linearity we have integration f du over an minus integration g du over an is greater than equals to 1 by n u of n, or v of an minus v of an is greater than equals to u of an, that is 0 is greater than equals to 1 by n u of an, or u of an is less than equals to 0. Since u of an cannot be negative, that is u is the measure, so it cannot be negative, so we have u of an is equals to 0. Similarly, we can show that u of bn is equals to 0. Now we are taking set C because we have to show that f is equals to g almost everywhere. So we are taking a set of all those x for which f is not equals to g, and we prove that measure of C is equals to 0. So C is equals to x such that f of x is not equals to g of x is equals to union of an union of bn. We are having in an f of x minus g of x is greater than equals to 1 by n, and in bn f of x minus g of x is less than equals to 1 by n. Therefore the set C is equals to union of an union bn. Then we apply the measure on both sides. Then measure of C is equals to summation of measure of an plus measure of bn, which is equals to 0. This implies we get u of C is equals to 0. Hence f is equals to g almost everywhere with respect to u.